Hello everyone, I'm Sally and welcome again to Fondant Diary. So this video will be different with my other videos because this is Q&A video. I've collected most common questions from you, so in this video I will answer and explain them. Let's get started.
The first question is how to make skin color fondant. First, prepare the white fondant and I use cornstarch on my hands so the fondant doesn't stick to my hands. And I added brown, yellow, and red food coloring to make the skin color fondant. And the next question is whether I add Tylose or CMC powder to the fondant. And yes, I added CMC powder to the fondant. The measurement is 1 teaspoon for every 500 grams of fondant. This fondant weighs 150 grams, so I use about a third or a quarter of a teaspoon. Then knead it about 1 to 2 minutes and the fondant is ready to use. And next question, what liquid do I use to stick the fondant? And I only use water to stick the fondant. And next questions, what fondant do I use and how do I smooth the joints between parts of the fondant such as hands and feet? So far, I have used Fondex brand fondant. If you want to buy it, the link is in the description. And to smooth the joints between the parts of the fondant, you can smear it with a little water and then press the joints gently with a tool. And the next question, what wire do I use and what size wire? I use stainless steel and galvanized wire, and the size of the wire depends on my needs. For example, I use 1mm wire or 18 gauge wire for small parts, 1.5mm wire or 14 to 15 gauge wire for human topper, and 2mm or 12 gauge wire for large, heavy topper like dragon. And the next question said the wire is no good and how do I attach it to the cake and how to take the topper out of polystyrene and transfer it to the cake. First, the wire used must not rust easily, such as stainless steel and galvanized wire. Then wrap the wire with flour tape and wrap it again with straw before sticking it into the cake. And last question, how to dry fondant topper and store fondant topper. Usually I dry the fondant topper in an air-conditioned room for 1 to 3 days because the air conditioning makes the air dry so the fondant dries more quickly. And don't store fondant topper in the fridge because the air inside is damp or wet. Just like when it rains, the air becomes wet so the fondant gets wet too. And if you don't have air conditioning, you can dry the topper in a warm oven that has been turned off. Place the topper on a non-hot plate and place in the oven for 20 minutes. When the topper is dry and hard, it can be moved in a closed container or closed cabinet.
Thank you for watching. I hope this video is useful for you, and if you have any more questions, please write in the comments. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!